Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication.
Hey there, and welcome to Mercy TV, your source for news and information on the cannabis issue as it unfolds here in Oregon, across America, and around the world. Greetings, my name is Perry, and Lonnie, Reed, and PK will be hosting this segment of Mercy TV.
Well, my friends, the new Cannabis Connection is coming out soon. We're just waiting for our delivery to bring it to you. It has interesting ideas and recipes for edibles. You can get back issues to get other recipes of edibles that you can enjoy eating it. You don't have to smoke the cannabis to enjoy the benefits. And eating it cold or in a certain process.
Well, you know, we always like to say hi to the people in the hospital because they would get the benefit.
Yep.
You know, the people in the hospital go through so many treatments, and the quality of life and the enjoyment out of the cannabis is what is so good.
Well, I think, you know, as we've talked about many times on this show, the fact that you can apply it topically, the fact that you can make it organically without open flame, without risk of explosions or none of those, that silly thing that the prohibitionists like to associate with cannabis oil.
There's so many, it's easy to do, it's easy to grow. There's so many things. That's why this show is such an educational show.
Right.
And that's why we show you my garden, to show you how to grow an organic garden, cannabis garden that's medically graded.
So, right, yeah.
And that's just using tomato food and good soil.
Well, back to questions. Do you have any questions?
Call on in.
That's 503-588-6444. Hey, look, it won't be traced back to you. Ask us.
Come on, you chicken snots, get up off your butts, give us a call, and spread the word. Call everybody you know, then call everybody you don't know. Of course, you can also visit our website, mercycenters.org, and send us an email, or call our helpline at
503-363-4588. You know, we have a march coming up for around the world. It's for everybody. You know, everybody. It's a global march.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Global cannabis action item. The Million Marijuana Marches that's been referred to in past years. It's happening in hundreds of cities around the world on the same day. The first Saturday in May. It's May 5th this year. And Salem will be there, as we have for, gosh, almost a decade now.
On Summer and Center Street. Center Street is eastbound traffic. Summer is southbound traffic from Market Street. Easy access to I-5. So, people, we need you to come down here, and hopefully we'll have new cannabis connections at that time. But we need your support. Register and vote. I just got my voters pamphlet for the primaries that's coming up in May. So I hope you had registered and vote so you can vote on these issues. These are different people. There's Reed that wants to speak.
You can vote. You can register to vote for the primary election coming up in May until the 24th of this month.
The 24th. That's coming up. No, 4 days away. Hey, Happy 420. It's always 420 here. An agent 420 that can help you with your insurance issues.
Those are good things, you know. These are
Absolutely.
back to the information, the education. You know, that's what the Mercy Center has always trying to done is with, you know, about the information and education and helping the patients with the cannabis. Because
Well, right. Help desking, networking. So folks looking for a grower, you know, to be honest, there's not a lot of resources available, but give us a call. We'll add you to the list and keep trying to promote folks to grow for folks.
But registered, get in contact with your representatives. If you can send them an email, it's all right. And they have hundreds of them. And testimonials. I made up a testimonial with the courtesy of Bradley Shipman. And he was a lawyer. And we found that the state is violating our constitutional right in Section 20. Everybody should be treated equally. This is the same as Section 18 in the federal. It still says everybody should be treated equally. These fluctuating prices, these prices and restrictions that the growers have to help patients out.
Right.
It's not like the old days where we had 3 other patients and we were helping them out.
Well, and how the law started.
Yeah.
You know, when the law started back in '98, it was so patients had medicine. You know, the medicine, the cannabis, was to help the patients and their quality of life. And now, you know, the quality of life is,
Yeah.
you know...
Well, it's extremely diminished because the patients aren't allowed to be able to garden in a manner that the program was initially voted in to afford. The patient should be able to designate a site off their address to be the garden. They can designate someone who's allowed to go in to the garden and maintain it and have access to it. They're allowed a person to be a caregiver, and that person can process the medicine, can carry it from the garden to them, can help with the medication. And this was especially important to folks in facility care, in hospice care, in the hospital. And that was all more or less taken away from them. It was priced out of their reach. You know, many of these people are on, you know, bare existence income, you know, and they couldn't afford the $200 hike that the last round of ridiculous, downright evil legislation did, you know.
They started at like $50 for a grow site other than your residency.
Right, and see, there was no expense associated with this cost, even that, you know.
Yeah.
There was purely punitive. It was purely regulatory,
Now it's
restrictive, and controlling.
$480 for an off-resident site.
You know, that's
and
ridiculous.
back to having people in the hospital right now that are not even tried cannabis before.
Right,
If they
you know.
tried some topical oils and they felt how good maybe some of this was for their joints. And,
Yes.
you know, these are the things that if maybe they allowed, you know, talk to their doctors, talk to their family, these are the conversations.
Your children.
You know, we have, that's one of the things we've talked about all the time, as
Right.
well as getting registered and voting. Is,
You know, so that right is guaranteed, and it isn't afforded only to those who can afford it.
right.
You know?
So important. You know, we want to make sure, because the cannabis is the good medicine.
Yes.
And is helping.
It's not only effective, it not only takes people out of the vicious cycle of other medications, one cause and effect, a side effect of the other. It's physically responsible. It reduces, not just their health aspect of a number of pills, 12 different medications to 3.
And you know what? We've known this and we've done this all along. And the last thing I heard here, like in the last week, they were saying, some big doctor was saying it's the latest big thing they're going to do about the opiate.
They're finally allowing mainstream to admit this, what we've known.
Believe they're going to say?
And that's a real sea change, because here in Oregon, we got people being kicked out of their pain management programs because they're reducing their opioid dependency with cannabis. Purely punitive and wrong.
So I'm going to read you out. Cannabis cherry grows ham. You imagine making that up for your Easter dinner or your Thanksgiving dinner. Then we have Zassy high stuffed peppers. I wish you could see these things. Then they come across with zippy Italian dressing and black bean brownies. Wow, look at this. Imagine all the different recipes you can get in past histories of the Cannabis Connection. But we need you to grill your representatives and help them make the right decision with the cannabis products. And the patients. The patients are being held hostage.
Absolutely. From all those things that we were talking about, the reducing of the number of medications, all debilitating, from dozens to like 3, the reducing of the time that you are and the quality of life that goes with that, but also the financial aspect, going from like $1,000 worth to $100. I'm so surprised that the insurance company, who normally has to pay for these, hasn't picked up on that aspect. But indeed, the way it helps with the opioid crisis is something we've known for a long time, getting folks contacting us, telling us their doctor was kicking off all their medications because they tested positive for cannabis, when it's such a viable part of their health plan.
Well, and so many people lowered their pills,
Nobody had an adverse reaction. Nobody was contraindicated in conjunction with something else. It was always a positive impact, if it had any,
So,
Personally, I gave up 90 Vicodin a month with cannabis use, and personally, I had 0 withdrawals. Now, I realize that that's not the case in most situations, but I had 0 withdrawals from 90 Vicodin a month with cannabis.
Yeah.
Very true.
Just one of many stories that we get here all the time at Mercy Center, and that's why we're here to help tell them, to free you or somebody or somebody you care about that's out there suffering, that doesn't have to.
So, did you forget the telephone number, my friend?
Oh, we're not hearing it ring.
It's 503-588-6444. Please call. Tell us your opinion. We just want to help.
Well, and the other thing is to have the conversation with your friends, your family, and your neighbors. I mean, these are the things that are so important, because a lot of things aren't being said about them.
Like this thing about the opioid, certainly about cannabis, the topical applicant, how you can make it simply by, soaking your cannabis in some oil, shaking it occasionally, then filtering it out and just rubbing it on, That's simple.
And we want to make sure that people that are in bad shape, that think they are not able to do these things, really can. With a little help, they can make these things.
Right.
They can do these.
They can grow the plant, they can do the harvesting, they can do the curing and storage, then they can do the processing.
All of these things are possible. They can.
And like with my garden, I show how to take care of for predatory insects. They tell you here there's bugs that you can use to take care of the predatory insect, but the lemon juice solution is the ideal way of an organic way to get rid of your predatory, your nasty bugs and spiders.
No, PK, when does that episode run every week?
Several times. I can't tell you, Reed.
Stay tuned here to Channel 23. Also, visit our website, mercycenters.org, and click on the Mercy TV button. That'll lead you to our YouTube account, which has all our My Garden episodes that we've managed to push up there. So check it out. Spread the word. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies.
Well,
tell the doctor.
Back to the hospital.
Right.
We want to make sure that we say hi to the people in the hospital and get them to know that, they're the ones that have the quality of life, and they get a issue because if they have some topical oils and they rub some of those oils on their joints and their different places on their bodies,
right,
they'll go, wow, it feels so good.
The positive
pain
effects
is gone.
Are immediate, and the negative effects are nominal. Folks they don't get high from this procedure, even when they're applying it to what amounts to open wounds.
And see, that's the other thing. That's when you grow these plants yourself, then you know what you're getting.
Exactly.
What it's grown with.
That's
what it's grown in, what it's grown with. As PK was saying, using these organic methods on your plants and in your process too. A lot of noise has been made about some of the Rick Simpson style of making the medicine. It involves petroleum, other chemicals, and methods that, while concentrating it, still leaves behind some less than organic residues and stuff. And as you may have seen in the news, potential fire hazards and risks that really unnecessary, because you're not really getting that much more. And in fact, you're getting, in many cases, better because it's whole plant of it, rather than extracting just the trichomes or something else from it there.
Well, you can get your CBD and other molecules that are in the plant, this from the stalk, this from the roots, and do an easy process. You don't have to use any fire in
that's
making
what we
this.
need to do with a better breakdown one day about the plants and stuff, because there is such a better breakdown of the plant that our body gets, that our body gets.
Well, as a species, quite frankly, as a humanoids.
When we break it down, we get so much out of it, because I know when we make the cookies and the butter and
when
oils,
folks serve it raw in salads and make juice with it and other methods, they're getting the whole plant. They're getting it in a non-THC active modality there.
Look what it did for the psoriasis.
Right, it's like the new honey. Felix talked for years about applying honey to wounds, has just certain healing properties, and now you'll see.
Well, the healing oil works on the wasp stings too. I can testify about that. It works on my carpal tunnel. It works on other skin ailments. Reed?
I have a friend that just recently had carpal tunnel surgery on both hands. First 2 months ago, his left hand, and the second just recently on his right hand. and he used my balm on his right hand where he hadn't on his left hand 2 months ago. And his doctor noted that it was healing surprisingly faster on his right hand than it was his left where he hadn't used the balm. She had no idea.
Huh. And glad he's using left and right hands. So he has a comparison.
Well, tell the folks out there more about the balm. Is this something you make yourself? You know, we talked about organic processes and applications here.
Yes, this is a product that I make myself, and PK did mention whole plant. He also said root. The root does contain many cannabinoids. It's part of the family. Don't forget it. I use the root exclusively at this point for making my balm. I cook it, and I cook. At this point, I've been using olive oil, and it works excellent. But the root does not have the CBD component, and I want to add that. So I'm preparing to make my next batch with hemp seed oil, which contains the CBD, so that I can include that component in my root balm. And the root balm is a topical. You can't get high from it. There's no THC in the root, no CBD either, unfortunately. And don't forget, the THC is actually part of the medicine. It's part of the family. You need as much of the family as you can get, and that's why I use the whole plant, including the roots.
Our bodies will take what it needs.
Will accept those components and pass the rest through. And that's another thing to point out about cannabis, how benign it is. You know, all the reefer madness about, making insane, killing you outright, And
opium's killing people, and cannabis has a record of 0 death.
Right,
Period.
And we've had it in concentrations never before seen, even during the heyday, I think, of
cannabis medicine in the early 1800s.
Or the hippie days when, or the, California green rush even, if you will. And so it's past time that we ended the rules and regulations based on this reefer madness, and we end the war. And we stop the heavy regulation and pricing out and start the cannabis industry and health.
Well, I was listening to someone today, and they were talking about descheduling or rescheduling the cannabis from Schedule 1. And she pointed out that rescheduling still leaves us with the problem. By descheduling it completely, then we can do full, proper, quality research.
Right. And, there's a discussion about going it incrementally, fighting for Schedule 2 or going for Schedule 5 and beyond. But I think with the introduction of the hemp bill and the pushing of that, and folks should contact a representative, as Pete often suggests, about that, if nothing else.
So you can find this website, and the federal government has the patent on different cannabis balms and oils and edibles, and they still say it is not a medicine. It's ridiculous that we're forced to be under Schedule 1 in the drugs, and that's with the heroin and cocaine and the other pharmaceutical drugs that the doctors are guinea pigging you on.
The 2003, I believe, patent, or was it 19? I've got the patent date wrong. There was a patent that the U.S. government took out that declares that it is a super antioxidant and a neuroprotectant, and that's cannabis, folks, as a super antioxidant and neuroprotectant.
Yeah, I think the thing to point out here is that your tax dollars paid for United States attorneys to sit in one room and argue that the cannabis has no medical value whatsoever and should not be moved from Schedule 1, and then goose stepped down the hallway and got a patent for cannabis as medicine. You paid for this nonsense, and you can get it stopped by registering, voting, and getting everyone you know to do so also. And vote smart. As PK says, contact your representative. And when you get the story from them, and if it's nonsense or good, spread the word. Tell everybody you know. Then tell everybody you don't know. Join up with several groups that are out there registering voters, like Rock the Vote, which gets you free tickets to rock shows if you go in there and register voters.
You
Such a deal, folks. Hey.
Excuse me. You forget about Parents for Pot. They help out families that are in medical destitution.
Yeah.
And that.
Well, prisoners of the drug war, they help out their families. Refugee families fleeing from a state that allows no medical so that they can get medicine, the only medicine that cures in many cases for their children.
You gotta remember, felons can vote too. Remember, felons can vote too. You can register, vote. Your voice means something.
More importantly, the folks that you get to register voting too. And don't just stop there, but make sure we get to the polls. We need a big, drive a big push. People going around getting their friends and neighbors, making a real voting party out of it, wherever we can.
So that's why the conversation is important.
Absolutely.
So if you need anything, come on down on Friday nights. We're here.
Right on. Be in our studio audience. Toss out your cannabis-related questions, comments, curse, or kudos.
Thanks, you guys.
Righto. Hey, thanks, Reed.
Thanks, you guys in the studio.
Hey, folks got extra root that they want to get rid of, contact Reed. I think we have your phone number.
Please
you can
do.
throw it up there. Let them know what it is there, Reed.
My phone number is 971-240-1452.
And folks, be sure to stay tuned here on Channel 23 for PK's My Garden. Visit our website to see the the Oregon Cannabis Connection website link. Go there and see the map where you can get your copy of the Oregon Cannabis Connection. Big supporter of Mercy Center, and we thank them for their support, along with our crew in the control room there, Lance, etc. And of course, a big thanks to CCTV.
Agent 420 Insurance.
Cannabis insurance needs, visit agent420.biz.
Well, and if you need any, support, come on down.
Sure. You can talk with us here. Also visit us on the website, mercycenters.org, and there's the helpline.
503-363-4588.
Thanks for visiting us here, and be sure to stop by next time and bring a friend.
Yes, because, CCTV, they got, can help, and they got a good place, and
Yeah, check it out. Get your word out.
Friday night.
Thanks for visiting. We'll see you
Thank
next time
you.
here on Mercy TV.
You want to say anything before I turn it off, Glenn?
Yes, good night.
Good night. God bless you all, every single one of you.